everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here, and you're watching Idol Worship, the show where we salute the friends of Dorothy long after the rainbow has passed. Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Mae West was a pioneer for women's comedy.
I see a man in your life.
What, only one?
She had gotten her showbiz start in vaudeville in the early 1900s. She learned stage presence from famous drag queens at the time, like Bert Savoy, also known as Miss Maudie, who taught her sex kitten persona. When she adapted the role of a sex goddess, Mae West began to write plays where, of course, she was the star.
Well, when I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
From her controversial play aptly titled Sex, a name so scandalous at the time it was known in papers as Mae West and That Certain Play. And oddly enough, the play got Mae West thrown in jail. The play was rated, and Mae West made a spectacle of the whole situation, with papers running stories about how she was allowed to wear her nice silk underwear and not those cheap, itchy ones the jail provides, or how she spent her entire time eating lunch with the warden. However, the censors were coming down hard on Mae, and she knew she had to clean up her act if she wanted to go mainstream. She needed a play that would make it past the censor boards. So, she devised a play that didn't include any overt sexual humor or cursing. This soon would become the greatest aspect of her persona and comedy.
You know, I met your kind before. Why don't you come up sometime, huh?
Well,
Don't be afraid, I won't tell.
But,
Come up, I'll tell your fortune. Oh, you can be had.
She became known for her double entendres. For those in the know, it would pop their monocles out, or for others, would go completely over their heads.
I wonder what kind of a woman you really are.
Too bad, but I can't give out samples.
This play was known as Diamond Lil, where Mae West played a gangster's mole who ends up in a romantic relationship with an undercover cop.
I'm sorry you think more of your diamonds than you do of your soul.
I'm sorry you think more of my soul than you do of my diamonds.
It was a smashing success and would create the persona Mae West was known for till the end of her life. It wasn't long after that Mae West was being sought out by Hollywood. She made her Hollywood debut in the film Night After Night in what was supposed to be a quick cameo for her friend George Raft.
Good morning.
Well, you know my father's very strict and he don't let me see boys after 9 o'clock.
Oh, cut the kidding, Maud.
Now, why don't you guys be good and go home to your wives?
Who is it?
The fairy princess, you mug.
Maud!
Hey, don't let those guys in, they'll wreck the joint. Hey, Gorilla. Come here.
Raft would later remark how Mae stole everything that wasn't nailed down, including every scene in the movie.
Oh, honey, how's business? Fine. You been insulted lately? Goodness, what beautiful diamond. Goodness had nothing to do with it, dearie.
Producers took notice and wanted to build a film around Mae West.
Well, it's better to be looked over than overlooked.
Mae West knew she wanted to make Diamond Lil her first feature, but the censors would not have it. Back in those days, the censor boards had a lot more control of Hollywood. So to get past the censorship board, Mae West decided she'll just trick them. She just changed around a few names and a few plot points, and suddenly Diamond Lil became She Done Him Wrong. Paramount knew Mae West was money, and She Done Him Wrong turned out to be a cash cow. The public was dying to see Mae West on screen, and the film became a huge hit. It was even nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, making Mae West into a movie star in her early 40s. She was now considered amongst the ranks of other comedians at the time like W.C. Fields and Laurel and Hardy.
Well, I wish you'd forget your principles, Ruby. I must have you. Your golden hair, your fascinating eyes and alluring smile and lovely arms, your form divine.
Wait a minute. Is this a proposal or you taking inventory?
She continued to make more films in Hollywood, each varying in quality as time passed. From I'm No Angel to Belle of the 90s, Go West Young Man, and My Little Chickadee, where she was paired along fellow comedian W.C. Fields, who famously remarked that it felt like Mae West took the cork out of his lunch. She refused to work with W.C. Fields unless he was sober at all times, and even infamously had him ejected off the set. Mae West was straight edge before there was really a term for it, and she'd only make an exception for films where she would smoke on screen. But she did have one vice, and that was men.
You certainly know the way to a man's heart.
Oh, funny, too, because I don't know how to cook.
She would gleefully remark to reporters when asked during interviews, "Why do you you have a mirror over your bed, to which she responds, "Oh, I like to see how I'm doing." As the 1940s progressed, Mae West became synonymous with the term box office poison. Her films were not pulling in money like they used to, the censorship board was crashing down on her, and Mae West was not getting the creative control of her films that she wanted.
Young lady, are you trying to show contempt for this court?
No, I'm doing my best to hide it.
By the late 1940s, Mae West decided she'd retire from films and return to theater. It was here that her career flourished once again, with outrageous plays like her satire on Catherine the Great, Catherine Was Great. And by the mid-1950s, she became a headliner in Las Vegas, with her outrageous comedy show that featured scantily clad bodybuilders. She had an appetite for all kinds of men, but her absolute favorite were bodybuilders. One most notably was Mickey Hargitay, a former Mr. Universe, who famously left Mae West's camp for actress Jaymes Mansfield. For this act of defiance, Mae West publicly sued Jaymes Mansfield for alienations of affections, which means she sued her for stealing her boyfriend. Her most loyal man in her life was Paul Novak, who infamously punched out Mickey Hargitay when he confessed to Mae that he was leaving her for Jaymes Mansfield. Paul Novak was at Mae West's side from the 1950s all the way up to her death. Mae West was a very eccentric woman known for her interest in spirituality and would often hold seances or tarot card readings. And she absolutely loved psychics. She was retired from film all the way up to the early 1970s, where she made her triumphant return to the color film, the much maligned Myra Breckinridge, starring Raquel Welch and Rex Reed. The film is a comedy about a transgender woman who returns to college to steal her uncle's fortune under disguise as his late widow. It sounds a lot more interesting than it is, I promise you. To call it a movie is honestly very generous. The film was a critical bomb. Even its author, Gore Vidal, publicly dismissed it. However, though critics were cruel to Raquel Welch and Rex Reed, they praised Mae West, saying the screen lit up every time she appeared and happily welcomed her back to Hollywood.
Girls and things will come by the dozen, that ain't nothing but looks so loving. Good looking thing, let me light your candle, cause baby, I'm sure how to handle, yes I am.
She was literally the only person on cast to escape unscathed. Mae West would go on to become a TV persona and made just one more film, Sextet, based on a play she had done in the 1950s when Mae was much younger. But in the case of this film, Mae West was in her 80s and not moving nearly as fast as she used to. The film is revered by us gays and fans of camp classics, but critics panned it. And sadly, after wrapping Sextet, Mae West would suffer a stroke that left her paralyzed on half of her body. Mae West was on her last legs. She died peacefully in her lavish top-floor apartment in the Ravenswood building, with Paul Novak by her side, who projected her films for her during her last days. Mae West was a Hollywood legend. She was a full-figured gal who made a massively successful career for herself in comedy when she was pushing 50. She's written dozens of films, plays, and books, and was a noted troublemaker at a time when talking about sex in public was a taboo thing. She championed gays and even wrote a play that highlighted the works of drag queens, and even given a rub to entertainers like Liberace, Wildflowers and Madam, and the drag queen Craig Russell, who worked as her fan club president for years. She will forever go down in history as a pioneer in comedy. We salute you, Mae, and to quote the queen herself, "I gotta go, but why don't you come up sometime and see me? I'll have nothing on but the radio."
Oh, Beulah,
Yes, ma'am.
peel me a grape.
Come up and see me. Come up and see me. Come up and see me sometime.